Hey everybody, it's Nick. I'm back for a second critical hit. I'm excited. I just got back from D23. A little side note, if I seem low energy, it's because I had too many nachos. I didn't know that that was a thing, but it is. Not like if I drew a graph of nachos, this is too many nachos right up here. This is the point at which there's too many nachos, and it's a diminishing return of enjoyment as you continue on the nacho path. Know when to say when it comes to the chos. I'm excited. Like I said, I just got back from D23. I'm not going to go through all the news because I'm sure if you have Facebook or this is stuff that interests you, you have already seen all of the news already. So I'm just going to tell you guys kind of my thoughts and opinions about what happened. Went to the floor. The first thing we did was we hit up, there's a Walt Disneyland 60th exhibit for the 60th, and it was really cool. Showed you a lot of like fun things from the archives that you wouldn't get to see normally. My only thing that was a little bit terrifying going through that exhibit is that they just had animatronic heads in certain locations, so it just looked like the stuffed trophy heads of Walt Disney's conquerings. Just like there was a dead stuffed bear that just looks lifeless. Like look at that is a dead bear. That's all there is. Country Bear Jamboree's no more because that guy's dead as fuck. Creepy Ben Franklin. I don't know if you see that. Super creepy Ben Franklin. That was a thing that somebody in Imagineering thought was a good idea at some point. They said, "Hey, let's dress up this weird doll-like person to look like Ben Franklin." They did that. They put him out on a parade every day and gave children nightmares. Walt Disney Studios booth was really cool. It was all the film studio stuff. So they got some cool pictures there from the Star Wars. A lot of the costumes. Now, a lot of these costumes have already been at other conventions. Like, I think they've done Rey's costume before at the conventions and probably Finn's as well. And the BB-88 has been around before, I'm sure. But I got a cool picture of, oh God, I'm gonna butcher this name. So look at the subtitles for the way you really say this name. It's Captain Phantasma? When we see the movie, we'll know how it's supposed to be pronounced. But I got a cool picture of her armor. Clearly, that captain is not a stealth person because chrome is highly reflective. So she can't just be like trying to sneak through a place unless it was like a metal sanctuary, which I guess makes sense. A lot of those places in Star Wars tend to be chock full of metal, so maybe she could camouflage easily somewhere like on Bespin. There are very few Marvel things, very minimal on Marvel, which was kind of a disappointment. I know there was the movies panel and they did some stuff for Marvel, but by and large, pretty hush-hush. I mean, you got to see the Doctor Strange stuff that people were talking about, and I guess they did a trailer for Captain America. I wouldn't know. I wasn't able to get in to the live action panel because apparently to get in that line, you had to be there you had to be born there, and then you had to have your family stake a claim, like it was some kind of land movement, just to get a seat. I wasn't able to do that. So everything I saw is stuff that you guys have seen too, probably on Mice Chat or InsideTheMagic.net. Inside the Magic. Great resource for you. I did get to see the animation panel, which was super cool. It started late because it took them forever to get people inside. Like, that was a big problem with D23 was crowd management was a huge issue. Getting the lines moving, getting people going, getting people inside. It seemed like it was a big issue. I waited for 4 hours to get inside of the Disney store. I waited for 4 hours to get inside of the Disney store. The store that everybody just walks by in the mall. And there was nothing for me in there, guys. Waited for 4 hours. I got some Sum-Sums, which are just like balls of fluff that cost $5 each for my nieces. But other than that, it was a real waste of my life. Disney animation panel, super cool. They did Disney, they did Pixar. I'm sure you guys have seen the news. There's Moana, Good Dinosaur. There's that Gigantic, there's Coco, a lot of these movies. The cool thing about all of these animated movies that they're coming out with is it shows off how dedicated they seem to be to diversity and multicultural films. Coco is about Day of the Dead. Moana is a Hawaiian tale. Gigantic is actually taking place in Spain, so there's a lot of Spanish influence there, which is really cool. If you're wondering why I haven't shaved yet, pure apathy. Pure sweet apathy. So if you see this thing continuing to grow throughout the show, that's why. By the end of this, probably by next year's time, I will look like a surviving member of ZZ Top, or a less hacky reference, probably. Jesus Christ. The other thing about animation is they just kept running down all of these movies back to back to back, and what you start to realize very quickly is that they're super formulaic, because almost every one of them included the phrase, and then the main character's significant other dies, or a beloved family member dies, and that sends them on their path of adventure. Every fucking time. At a certain point, it became a comedy, in the sense of like, oh, who's gonna die in this person's life that's gonna send him off on an adventure? Good dinosaur, his dad dies. That's not a spoiler. You'll find out. Moana, like her grandmother dies. Gigantic, I think everybody's dead, probably. Well, at least the girl giant, which is, it's a weird thing. They're doing like Jack and the Beanstalk for this movie Gigantic, but they're doing it in a way where like, it's not so much about Jack's journey as it seems to be, about this female child giant. And they sang a song from it, and it's by the people who did Frozen, so the song was adorable and annoying, and I'm sure in a couple months, or whenever that movie comes out, it'll be all over the place, and then it'll drive you crazy. I'm excited for Star Wars Land. I'm hoping that they have a better name for it than that, and I can understand why. The land itself is going to be a new world. It's not going to be anything that's already been in films or movies or television. They're creating a new world specifically for Disneyland, Disney World, those places. And I understand why in a pragmatic sense, because if you were to create Tatooine or Endor or something like that, you would have to do it to such an exceeding standard that people's imaginations, that what they had built up in their heads for the past 30 years would have to be met. Those standards have to be met. It's impossible. So if you create a new area, you create a new opportunity to create your own stuff, and do it in a way that it's not going to upset people who think that everything has to be a certain way. So I get that. Have a great day. I will see you next week. And let me know if there's anything you guys want to talk about. Right. Bye.